Bulavinaka, welcome to episode 3 of this program, Meeting Your Members of Parliament. Today, we have the Honorable Rinesh Sharma. Bulavinaka, sir,
Bula.
thank you for accepting the invitation to be part of this program. Glad to have you here.
Likewise.
Just to start off, sir, we know that you entered Parliament when you were 29 years of age. How did that feel? Being at that young age, sitting amongst many other older members?
Well, I think it was something I manifested since 2015. I would just say randomly, one day I'll probably go to Parliament because I was working towards something, and every time the challenge kept getting bigger. So I think success and growth was about what's the next challenge. And you have to fall in love with that chaos and challenge. So for me, it was, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what do you think I'd do good in Parliament? I'll apply, and I did. And here I am, but I guess when you enter Parliament, a new set of challenge is there for you. I had no mentor, no financial backing, no family close to politics. So it was me probably in the first in the bloodline to ever step into this field of responsibility. I think this title comes with national responsibility. So that came with its own set of challenges. So yeah.
Tell us about your family now that you've mentioned your mom. A bit more, where you went to school, where you grew up.
Laroka Chinese School was primary school for me. My father was the manager at Suncourt Hardware, and dad, at the age of 22, became the manager. So I said, wow, you did something, achieved something great at a very young age. And I said, Dad, I'm proud of you. And, our father and son had that moment because he's equally as proud of me. Dad would be that voice or that advice that would just come out very randomly in my life. We're driving somewhere, we're sitting. He'll say, son, the day I'm not here, make sure you do these. This is how you approach it. That's his experience, and he'll always say, use your intellect and knowledge and combine both and see the best. And then high school was Natambua High School. I see my classmates doing really well. I've read about them in the media recently. Back then, the teachers would tell us, what are you going to do? What are you going to achieve? But today, everyone is doing exceptionally well. So I'm really happy to see everyone doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
What about your mom?
Mom, she's a sweetheart. She's my queen. I've had the most debates with Mom. We had the most fiery exchanges. But what I love about me and Mom is she's my comfort zone. I don't need to speak and she'll understand. And if anything happens, she's following Parliament almost every day to day, current affairs. Mom has played a role in the family. Mom is an example of a woman who's content with life, with the role she has. Sometimes she'll say, son, I would never see myself in Parliament. I just cannot take on the chaos, the criticism, the scrutiny. And I'm so happy just being at home and doing what I love to do. Take care of all of you. And we all play our roles and take care of each other. So, family of 4. I think when we were really poor, all we had was each other. Until date, those values are still within us. Despite how life has changed, all we have to value is each other. Yeah, I don't want to give away importance to materialistic things because they come and go, but the human value is topmost.
You believe those values you've been taught in your family has brought you this far?
Yes, I'm very spiritual, and I think because when you desire for something materialistic, you sort of become enslaved to it.
Right.
So the less you want, the happier you're in life. And for me, peace, going to bed is the most expensive luxury you can afford. Because like I said, when you want growth, you have to take on challenges. Not one, maybe multiple all at once, simultaneously. So I think success is about challenge. The more you want, the more you have to face, the more problems you have to solve. So for me, I like to be content in very little. I mean, tomorrow if I'm not in Parliament, I'm very happy going back to my farm and working full time. At least my plants don't talk back to me. But no, jokes apart, I think being content wherever you are is really important, really important. And I think the lesser I have is the more happy I am. So I keep it very simple. Yeah.
Simple is
I
the way
try.
to go, right. What about in India? I understand you also attended university in India. What was life like there compared back home? How did you manage to juggle between your challenges and a student and missing your family, I'm sure?
Oh, wow. When I went to India, because I was supposed to go to USP, but I didn't get the hostel, I remember. So I said, Dad, what do I do? So I applied for a scholarship. It was my father again. He forced me, he said, you apply for this scholarship. And we didn't have access to a printer. We were that financially, you know what I'm trying to say. I didn't know. I said, Dad, why should we waste money? But I made 7 copies of my certificates because I was really hardworking in Atambua. Right. Not the smartest, but hardworking. I applied and I got through, and I think I got a call from the embassy and I said, you have by this evening to say yes to this program. And I was on my knees, I was crying. I called my father and I said, Dad, I'm leaving Fiji. Because prior to that, I worked at McDonald's for 9 months. I worked at a car wash. I painted houses. I did door-to-door delivery. So I did all of these things, and I sort of realized the potential that maybe I can have. And I went to India for 4 years, 8 units per semester. The pressure was on. I feel that attendance was given more value than academics. Right. Because then what I saw was some universities were just hell-bent on making money. But again, I had to just focus on my academics. So for 8 units per semester, I loved the pressure, the heat, the environment, the throat-slitting competition. I love how everyone is thinking about moving forward. The startups I need to get into, the jobs I need to apply. Everyone was about doing something. And when you look at it from a macro perspective, we need that kind of mindset, right. In Fiji as well. Everyone doing something to move the economy forward. So coming back to Fiji after 4 years, I specialized into automation and climate smart farming mechanisms. There's so many farmers in Fiji that I'm proud of, but I was trying to bring something different with hydroponics that's been done before. And then that was my beginning in 2018 when I came back.
So you have the company, Smart
Farms.
Yeah,
so, sorry, I forgot. So while waiting for USP, while waiting to be enrolled at USP again, I think back, so I didn't get it in January. I could apply then in June or something, I don't know, mid-semester. I was turning 21 and I said, Dad, I want to do something for myself. He's like, what? And it's like, I want to give myself a company. I want to start a wholesaling company. So I went on to FIRCA's website, and I call it FIRCA, FRCS, and I looked at the goods that don't have duty, like solar products. So I started a company, started wholesaling agricultural products, met so many farmers, and I used to meet really wealthy farmers, and the way they interact with you, I said they are not rich, they are wealthy. Because despite having so many assets and money, they're so down to earth. They know how to talk in a very respectful manner. And when I used to look at some of the farmers, I used to say, that's the kind of wealthy I want to become. It's not just the money, it's the character, and how you empower others in the process that you meet. So I think respect is massive when it comes to success. Yeah.
And how is your business progressing so far?
Going well. I had to open the company. And then I went to India. It's a small company, or small business, I would say.
So you started the business before you went to India?
I started the business and then I got the scholarship. So my dad was looking after it because we were just selling 1-2 products. I had no sense of selling products because I never studied arts. I was a science student. And in India, I did engineering. So the whole, what transformed after all these years was I wanted my parents to resign from the current jobs they have and join me. So I had to work really hard, take the business to a certain level, pay off so much of the old debt. I think my parents never had insurance, so that's one of the costs. I think every child would have to endure.
Right.
So finally, they're eating healthy now. I'm happy. So yeah, I think dad finally resigned, mom resigned, and everyone's joined the family. I'm like, you guys work for yourself, be your own boss, work at your time, but make sure the discipline and consistency must be there.
So they run the business for you.
They run the business. They're home. They have their time. Because it as a son, it will make me feel bad when mom comes home from work after 10 hours. You know, she's worked in a company for 40 years, dealing with varicose veins, health issues, $2.50 per hour, I remember, very bare minimum. And then you know how some people would talk down at you. So as a son, I'd feel bad. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna give you your own company, mom.
Okay.
Yeah, something small, not too big. Like I said,
Right.
not to go too big, but just something small. That's, I think, good enough.
Hydroponics. In your term here, sir, as a MP, visiting the communities, have you also used the opportunity to talk about hydroponics to the communities of farmers you meet?
So, I met someone from Vanuatu. He said, he met me at a UNDP's program in USP. He said, I inherited hectares and hectares of land. He's like, I want to do hydroponics. And I said, no, you have soil. You have brown gold. You know, at the end of the day, despite the technology, despite how many advances are there, when you have organic matter, when you have organic resources, use it to the most. So when you have abundance in soil. Now, upon inspection and verification, that soil may not be up to par for certain products, yes, then you can put in a hydroponic system.
Okay.
For a place like Suva, Navua, yes, you can have a hydroponic system, even Nosori as well. The funniest thing somebody said to me was, can we grow sugarcane in hydroponics? And I didn't have a response, but no, we can. I don't think we can. I don't think we can.
Such a long plant.
It's a long plant. Yes.
Okay. Sir, I understand in 2020 you were also successful in one of your applications with the Bill Gates Foundation. Can you tell us about that to help with the COVID-19 impacts?
So I came with the mindset to Fiji in 2018. I'm going to, because I was wholesaling agricultural products, I was going to grow plants now in a controlled environment. Two things. The only thing in my head was profit. When I won this program under UNDP Youth Collab Challenge at USP, I met these mentors from Asia and these representatives from Asia, in fact, who later became my mentors. And they said, Rinesh, there's profit, there's purpose. You can teach what you know, and Fiji needs more farmers anyway. So when I was shown purpose, that meant sharing the knowledge sharing and creating more farmers. I started to do a lot of community work. And that's where I went to London for the One Young World Summit, Leaders Summit, and I represented Fiji. So people who see me in Parliament and think that probably this is the way I speak in Parliament, or I speak like someone in Parliament. No, I have spoken for Fiji on multiple stages prior coming to Parliament. Those videos, I've never asked for those videos, and I don't know where they are. But it was
What year did you travel to London, sir?
2019, before COVID. I represented Fiji and Fiji for...
That was for the Commonwealth?
No, it was it was under the Queen's Commonwealth Trust Award, which I received, and then I went to London for 1 week representing Fiji. It was a youth leaders summit. So prior to that, I had represented Fiji in Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines, and I was on stage in front of the world, and I had a mic. Yes, my heart would shiver. But now that experience actually has helped me when I have come to Parliament. Okay. So in Parliament, there's no fear to speak.
Right.
So the Bill Gates one was a COVID one that came under One Young World. It was not much, but it was just providing small hydroponic kits to, I'm not sure how many families, but it was within our boundary because it was within our lockdown boundary. Yeah, there was a very small funding, but
Okay.
I was the first 5 in Fiji, in the world. I was first 5 in the world. So for me, those kind of things are not something to celebrate. For me, when I get a good news, for me it's like, oh God, how do I materialize this? The
Right.
act of action comes in, like, I mean, the thinking of, how do I say this? I need to act on it.
Right.
How do I do this now? I think so good news and bad news, they both stress me out. Yeah, to some degree.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what inspired you? Did that inspire you to come into Parliament and stand for the elections? Having traveled the world, having represented Fiji, you felt you could do more. Is that why
Yeah.
you came into Parliament?
So I said, if I am doing this all on my own with whatever little resources I have, I've till date I've had more failures than successes, and I think that's part of life, and it's the beauty of life, because
Right.
if you don't learn from your failures, you are not going to you're not going to grow. So life is the biggest teacher. There's school, there's your parents, but then there's life. It's perception is everything. I'm meeting you, I'm gonna learn a lot. I've met so many people in this field, I've learned a lot. So I think it was taking me down a path of what more can I do? Where can I contribute? And I filled in a form. I had an interview with the general secretary. Yeah, general secretary. It went to 1 hour 25 minutes long. It was that um, long of an interview, and I just told the GS that this is what I see for Fiji and Fiji's agriculture, because then I was coming from agriculture.
Right.
Now after 3 years, I speak on every aspect of the sector, ministry, department, but more of a people-centric approach, and more of I think there's a difference of generations in Parliament, something that we see in the sugar industry. So for me, it's all about ideas that are going to take us forward, how people can embrace, and what we're going to do. Because for me, it's all about the economy.
Yeah.
It's all about the economy. The economy needs to go forward.
Describe a typical day as an MP. It is.
A typical day as an MP would be, well, of course, this is the 3rd year, so I'll describe what's happening in these recent years. I think the first year wasn't as intense as this. You wake up in the morning, 8:30, we're here for the committee meetings and deliberations. What the committee does is it looks at the annual reports across ministries. We hold public submissions. We visit these stakeholders, and I guess the wealth of knowledge we absorb is a blessing. Right after that, I have visitations. So when people send us issues, what my team does is we put it through a Excel sheet, and then I try my best to reach out to them, or they again would reach out to me, or if there's somebody having issues with, example, TELS, TLTB. Right now I got a phone call just before coming here. So we also play the role of advisors or facilitators, because I always feel that authorities, organizations are there in place.
Right.
A member of parliament does not have all the answer or all the authority, but he or she can direct you to the right person to get your work done. So the entire day goes about meeting people, businesses, they who have brought issues to us. And then for what's important for me is to go and visit them. And by evening, I have my community visits. So people who follow me on Instagram or Facebook, they see what time I come home, at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's daily for me now. I don't know when last I have slept at 1. It's all after 1. And sometimes you cannot sleep because you're processing some issues that somebody has brought to you. And maybe sometimes some of them are so emotional, especially involving domestic violence, children. You just can't put the 2 and 2 together of how inhumane some people can be, especially your own. So sometimes some nights would just go by trying to find sleep. But on this job, I'm sleeping less. I'm living more. It's unhealthy. I don't promote it. I wish there was more balance, but I would say the issues coming my way. Because I think when you are very clear and not I would say clear, I guess when you're very competent in your work, as some people would see. They would feel some sort of certain hope that, okay, this person can solve my issue, or this person can guide me. And I take it as, so much. I don't know how. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming to be just 32 and to be looked up to, and people feel like this person can solve your issue. I think it's a blessing.
What are some of these communities that you visit?
Oh, they're throughout Fiji. Because for me, when somebody tells me something through the phone, I would like to come there and actually see the issue.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, they say it takes two to tango. Sometimes you may only speak of your issue, but you will not tell me what you had done, what wrong you had done to
Right.
someone else. And now, just by doing so, they have done wrong to you.
Yes.
So, yeah, and then you learn on the ground. You learn on the ground. And for me, as long as I'm an MP, till the first day I took oath, till the end of the term, we serve and listen to everyone. But I think what's important is the way you want to address issues. Just because we are members of parliament doesn't mean we are we are not human. We are aliens, or we people with superpowers. We are human beings, and I think a very respectful. I think issues must be addressed in a very respectful manner, because one thing in parliament that I just want to quickly say is we may debate, but in the tea room when we sit together we deliberate. Remember, fighting, having arguments will never reach a positive outcome.
Right.
So the way to always solve a problem, yes, sometimes some matters are very close to our hearts. Yes, we may come out very aggressive or emotional, but at the end of the day, without love, without understanding, no problem, no issue will ever be solved. So I guess how you address issues is very important. And that's why government and opposition need to work together in solving people's issues.
Right.
Yeah.
So how have you learned to overcome that or to face it? You had mentioned debates, and some are very close to your heart, some issues. So when during the debate, maybe some comments are not to your liking, how have you overcome that? Have you just learned to grow a thick skin, or have you learned to just approach the other side and just work with them
So
on the issues raised?
I'll tell you, from childhood, I was very shy. I would not wear a vest. Yeah, I would wear long pants. I wouldn't go out. Even till high school, I was the quiet one. I'll come do my work and I'll disappear. If you tell me, Rinesh, there's an event and you have so and so role. Okay, I'm there because there's an agenda. If you tell me we're going to a program and I have to meet new people, I am so. I don't know. I'm not saying anxiety would kick in, but I'm such an introvert. I'm such an introvert. But politics, I think the hardest part of being in parliament was to break that shell. Now, when I write my scripts, so what I do is my social media is quite powerful. So when people send me issues, we use tools to summarize them, and then I write my speech. So whenever I write my scripts, I think what people look for on social media is entertainment. When you start speaking in something in depth and long, it gets boring.
Right.
So for me, it's a balance of substance and something that's entertaining. So that's why I bring in these sarcastic jokes and lines. So when I stand there and speak on a topic, I need a reaction from government. I need a reaction from my side. So I enjoy the interjections. I in fact get upset when there's like no interjections and it's quiet. So for me, it's the other way. I enjoy it. But I think criticism outside parliament, yes, people would write without thinking, without understanding. We are in this position where we have access to information, access to people who have those information. But sometimes you cannot put the entire blueprint on certain issues on social media. But I think still we are unable to, the Online Safety Commission is still not able to, prevent people from abusing and, harassing, and along the racial lines as well, which we see. is being put out there on social medias. But at the end of the day, growing a thick skin isn't just by saying it. It comes from what you tell yourself mentally. If you're your own critic, someone else before somebody else criticizes you, you already know the truth. So for me, you know what you do. You are confident with your facts and figures. You're here for a purpose, and you're here only till you're good enough. Because one day you will leave those chambers, and you want to set a precedence that, okay, I did it. Whoever is looking to come into parliament will come and do it better than me. So, because generations change, what we do right now after 15 years would be old.
Yeah.
Because we need to keep up with modern times. So, not really affected by criticism. Not really affected by it. Yeah.
In your term so far for this parliamentary term, what are some achievements that you're proud of?
There's quite a lot. Some I would not speak of. I would not because these are very sensitive issues. But I think in terms of the committee, we have been part of major treaties and ratifications. I think every person that has reached out to me, I've tried to my best connect them to the relevant minister, authorities. Naloto district, I remember I went there. A horse had died in the catchment up there, and there were 120 students. So the ministry had done their job, and I had sent an email to PM, and I think in just the next day, PM called the head teacher and said, under the Prime Minister's office, they had a 2 million budget, and they will set up the 6 water meters. And the children were so happy, and I think the PM went there, I think after a year or so, to do the opening and all of that. So I guess in Parliament, it's never yours. Yes. You are just part of the bigger picture. I don't have that during my time I built this, and no, because what I built during my time is old now. I hope they're doing the maintenance. So I think you can never own it, but rather you can just be a small part of the bigger picture.
Right.
Yeah.
It must be satisfying.
It is satisfying. But it gets frustrating when people in positions of power, not necessarily government, people in the executive as well. There's 3 permanent secretaries I messaged before, emailed before the opening of session because I wanted some information. Right. Which people brought to me, and I wanted to see where are we with this, but I didn't get a response. So sometimes I feel that I let those people down because I was not able to get information in the right time. Mm-hmm. So those things, yes, mentally frustrating, because we have people to answer to as well, and I'm following the channels. I'm following the right channels. But little things like that.
In those situations, how do you address it? Do you revisit those emails, or you
I do. There's one PS that I told the minister about. Look, you need to talk to her because people are asking me, or else I'm just going to direct it to your email and you deal with it, So.
How have people reacted when things don't happen their way, like the plea that they bring to you?
Frustration.
Yeah.
A lot of personal attacks towards people in power, and sometimes for me, when I debate, when I bring issues to Parliament, I refrain from personally attacking anyone, because I have this understanding that position or title is what I'm, questioning. There's a mandate, there's a responsibility. This falls under your jurisdiction. That's whom I'm questioning. Never personal. There's no need to go personal, but when things don't get done, sometimes there are scenarios where people would want you to even fill a form for them. So in those scenarios, we have to direct them to the Parliament office, if possible, help them out wherever we can.
Right.
Wherever we can, yeah. Many are on smart devices, but when I tell them about, did you visit the ministry's page? No. I'm like, opportunities are there. So I think that kind of awareness needs to come from the executive arm of the increased awareness and understand how the masses are absorbing information. I think that's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the elections coming up, what message do you have for our young people and first-time voters?
Wow. In Fiji, we have an educated society. And I think when you look at the past politics, a friend of mine shared this on Instagram, and I was viewing it yesterday. And he said, it's about time we grow up. We grow up from the lies that were told to us, that Indo-Fijians will take our land, men have no emotions, men's rights don't, mean anything. And he said a few other things, and it really clicked to me. And I guess as young voters, we must ask ourselves, the reason why we are voting for someone. I think if don't vote for someone whom you know of. Don't vote for someone who you know of, or who came to. I don't know how to put this in context, but I think we must vote for someone who is able to contribute to Fiji's economy. We must question if this person is saying that, okay, we will build a ethanol mill, ethanol producing mill. Where will they get the finances from, the expertise from? Question when a policy is announced, or election promise is announced, people must question where will they get the expertise, the finances, and how realistic it is. Otherwise, growing up, we have seen people being voted for going to the same religious functions, temples. They look the same province. That person came to my wedding. That person came to that person's funeral. He or she looks like me. He or she dresses well. He or she speaks well. Like somebody met me and said, "You speak really well in Parliament." And I said, "Okay, thank you." I said, "So what are the policies that you like that I've put forward?" He's like, "No, I'm not really into politics, but you speak well. I just heard you." And I'm thinking, what we say here and how much it is absorbed from someone who's busy in their life. And they're absolutely right. They're busy in their life. Knowing much about politics may not make a difference to them. So I think the population needs to ask questions. The young people need to ask a lot of questions, and realistic questions, like the tells. If it's, with the whole being paid off and the bond. So I think the younger generation, they need to ask questions. So, and what I see in terms of governance, I feel like there needs to be a wealth of seniors and the experience, but also the ambition and the bright minds of the young people. You need that
Mixture?
You need that mixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important to have diverse voices represented in Parliament?
I think multiculturalism is the way forward, because there is strength in diversity. Look at the tourism sector. We are dependent on tourists. And the tourism sector is not dependent on a particular ethnicity or nationality. We want tourists from all over the place. When money that is not dependent on a particular ethnicity or background, so why are our policies? If the way I see Fiji going forward is, well, the current constitution protects the indigenous resources. 91% is Itoke land. That's great. The moment we have land security on investment, residential or commercial, is the day businesses and people will boom in Fiji. Because I feel the way Fiji must go forward is protecting local resources, traditions and customs of the indigenous, but at the same time embracing modern solutions. Because when Fiji goes abroad to the region and national platforms, we must be relevant to those times. This is something I always question. If we bring in international laws to Fiji, our society may not be ready for it. Change is uncomfortable. And somebody said to me, Rinesh, if you bring too many changes quickly or all at once, you will collapse as a politician because the society is not ready to embrace change so quickly. So quickly. But I think we need to grow up and grow out of the fact that land will be taken or converted, that Fiji, I think, should be empowering just one ethnicity or people of background, because multiculturalism is the way forward. With people from Philippines, with people from Bangladesh, India, it will only get more diverse. You in Tonga and Samoa, there's so many Chinese and Asians are there. Yes. So multiculturalism is the way forward. But then as a politician, see, sometimes, I'll give you a very small example. A politician will also maneuver in a way where how the public will absorb information. So he or she will craft, their policies in a way that people will say, oh no, I don't want to be saying this publicly, but there were lies being told, I believe so. When we go to some places and somebody said to me, oh, we were told Fiji will be sold to, one part of Fiji will be sold to China. And I'm like, no, that can never happen. Our constitution doesn't allow that. But you see, it's sad how people absorb false information very quickly. Yes. And then social media was in fact there, which had a lot of false information. So being on social media is like being on a raft in the middle of an ocean. You just don't know what can come from anywhere, somewhere. So, but coming on multiculturalism, I think that's the way forward. When you are educated, you would know that prosperity, growth, and sustainability is beyond ethnicity, division, and segregation. The moment there's unity, I read somewhere, when you keep people divided, you stay in power. When you give people handouts and freebies, year by year, you become their hope. You stay in power. Another way of leadership is empower the people. Yeah. Example, if 200 houses, for example, in a settlement get their leases, they will have hope, because they'll go to the supermarket, they'll go to the hardware shop, they'll build their homes. When they build a garage, they'll start dreaming of buying a car. So you drive economic activity from the bottom. Empower people and watch the economy grow. There's so much that can be done in this country.
So you believe that's one way for Fiji forward is multiculturalism?
Multiculturalism, yeah. Provided the right information goes out, but like you said, when you unite people, it creates problems for other people as well. Right. Yeah, because it will disrupt them. Yes. Some people thrive on division. They do, because it keeps them in power. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what motivates you to continue serving in Parliament?
What motivates me is the amount of people who have shared with me on solutions the way Fiji can be. My parents motivate me. My health hasn't been the best, but if I'm in good health and wealth, I will continue serving and working with the government in power, because I think the opposition is the most honest critique a government can have. Yes. But you also must know how to maneuver, work with the authorities and government in power for the people of the country. That's coming from a role of an opposition. And I think the best thing that happened to me was being an independent member, because then I don't have to ask anyone of what I can say. There has been instances in the past where I was declined opportunities, to represent Fiji. Okay. Yeah, and I really started to question myself, what am I doing here? So I think for me, regardless of the highs and lows I've seen as a young member of Parliament, I have been very strong and steady. And when we became independent, my only focus was, or the only thing I thought of was, I took an oath to serve. And I think it's also important, like when people became independent, they had the opportunity, because we have seen some members, supporting government. That's fine, because that's their right. But I also feel like I want to be in a position where I can speak for the masses. Let's just say if I held a ministerial post, example, I can only speak for that ministry. Or if I'm the assistant minister, I'm not going to speak at all. And for me, I chose to remain in opposition for the oath I took. For my parents believed that, okay, it's best you end the term being in opposition. Friends of all, enemies of none, because, like I said, there's no way forward if we create hate for each other, or, have. So that I don't see that as a way forward. So I enjoyed being an opposition, but yes, I've grown so much in these years, and hopefully, politics, anything, and another beauty of this job is today you're a politician, tomorrow you're not a politician. So there's no security with this job because of how governance works. But I don't really participate in active politics. I stick to people's issues. I stick to people's issues. I stick to research and data, because for me, policies must come from research and data. It must be realistic, relevant to current times, and for the next 3, 5, and 10 years. So that's all my focus.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not everything I feel that I need to talk about, or make fun of, or I really don't think that's the right way. Yeah.
Okay. Are you standing again for the elections?
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. When elections come, I'm fit and fine, and I would love to stand for elections and continue working for the country. No plans of going abroad. I don't see a life away. Fiji is like no other place. It's our first home, because I'm not the one who got on the boat from India. And I think that's the beauty of this nation, is that it's not the place, it's actually the people that we call this a paradise for a reason for. So I think, like you said, multiculturalism. So I guess I'll love to stand, but see where things go. The beauty of politics is you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The stress, the chaos, I would say, that comes with it. Not like literal chaos, but you just don't know what's going to happen. So I think one really needs to enjoy that in order to stand in politics. And I'd love to see more younger people come. We've seen some great talent in the youth mock parliament, and I thank Parliament for that initiative. In fact, Parliament's report came to our committee during that time, and that was one of the recommendations. So I'm happy that under Honourable Speaker, the women's mock and youth mocks parliament materialized. But I'd love to stand.
Okay. How would you like to do things differently in your next term?
Well, that depends which side of the house I am. And for me, I've had a journey of life where I'll only speak of things that I can do. But for me, it's all about improving Fiji's economy, improving investment on TLTB, on native land, building capacity for the landowners, ensuring our resources are protected. Because I have always said this during the BBNJ Treaty, Fiji's resources are not for short-term, not for gains, not for short-term gains. Because when you look at deep-sea mining, there's consequences with it that will be on our shoulders on the next generation in years to come. So do things differently. I think a lot to change. A lot to change in looking at the outdated legislations, Animal Act, Litter Act. I think safety for our taxi drivers. I think when you create safety, you empower businesses. I want to see a Fiji, sometimes I sit and think, what can we do so that a ordinary family can have a good life? So these kind of thoughts don't, allow us to sleep.
Yeah.
Allow us. So it depends. You can do a lot being in government. You can do a lot being in opposition. Like that, the Vuilevu housing flooding that happened.
Yes.
I was happy to know I was the first MP who visited there. I remember I slept at around 4 o'clock in the morning and I was up at 8:30, and I was there at 10 past 9. And then about few ministers from government, Honorable Tuisavau, Assistant Minister for Health, Honorable Inia, Leader of Opposition, they all went there, spoke to the people, and actually the work got done. So you could do work from being both sides of the house,
Yes.
but a lot to change in terms of improving the laws. But you've heard me in Parliament, so I would not really think of the things I've said. But yeah, a lot of safety and security. For me, national safety and security is key. Because when people feel safe to go out, that's when businesses will start to boom. That's when consumption, access to services will grow. That's when people will feel free. People will not in fear of being robbed and all these things. Businesses won't fear being robbed. And I feel like, look at Singapore. People love to go for a walk out at night. So that can happen in Fiji, but I always emphasize on this. We need to protect those men and women in uniform first before they go out to the field, whether in air, on land, or on the boats in the on the marina. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
What message would you have for our viewers about the importance of civic engagement and democracy?
Well, civic engagement and democracy is the cornerstone to good governance, and the role Parliament plays, especially. And the Fijian Parliament has done outstandingly well, I think, in the last 4 years, the last 3 years that I've been here. And again, we are grateful for all the programs under Parliament, the visitations we have, especially from the school children, and they get to see. So I think that's one of the best moments that we get to have in Parliament, is when the school children come to Parliament.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sharma, for joining us this afternoon in this program. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you for watching us today. Until we meet again, Nimo Demanda.